All right. So let's move on over to let's do Housewives of Potomac. Yeah, let's do Housewives of Potomac and we could get them out the way real quick because the girls are boring. And then the fact that we know that Wendy got all these legal situations going on. And she didn't have that while they were filming. So it's just seeing that and her being just so judgmental, it's just coming off so tacky. You get what I'm saying? Because it's like, ma'am, like little did you know, or what is that when they have the little thing up and it's just like, little did she know in 5 months she would be arrested for wire fraud and bankruptcy and blah blah blah. You get what I'm saying? Like, girl, stop. And so, yeah, and then I didn't even recap on this last week or the week before because it was just boring. But let's just go ahead on and grab a cowboy hat and prepare for the altitude, right? Now we're recapping the latest episode of the Potomac Housewives, and this Colorado cast trip is already on a crash course for disaster. Now, last week, Angel kicked things off on a confusing note when she brought up, she okay, so this what happened. So while okay, let me get comfortable because child, the boots, right. So Angel had brought the ladies to a remote Airbnb an hour away from her home. Okay. She's been telling them about this home, how beautiful it is, this, that, and the third. It's luxury, it's award winning, and yet she got them an Airbnb an hour away. Right. She then threatened to put the entire trip on ice when Giselle and Ashley claimed they had more tea about her family's eviction from Potomac. Now, I don't know where y'all stand at with this whole her being evicted from Potomac, that house or not. But if I have an Airbnb and it's for, I don't know, 3 months, right? And I go to extend that past that 3 months, to maybe 3 months and 10 days or whatever the case. But it's past what I originally signed up for. And the owner informs me that it's already booked. So I have to vacate. That is what I consider um it's an eviction. You gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. I don't care where you go. But you gotta go, right? So, yeah, this is where we start off at. Now, on The Housewives, this is episode 14, and they called it High and Dry. The drama continued as the ladies tried to settle into the accommodations, a task that became increasingly difficult once the water in their Airbnb stopped working. I mean, it was just I got some clips for y'all. I do. I have some clips for y'all. Now, the Colorado trip continued to spiral out of control with over half of the cast stuck in a barely habitable Airbnb. This trip is logistically complicated, mentally exhausting, and the high altitude was only making things worse. With every passing moment, things seemed to get worse. I'm not joking. So by the end of the episode, Giselle was ready to take matters into her own hands. And it's no lie. Now, that trip that Giselle had planned, it was beautiful. You remember when they went out there to Nevis? Mm-hmm. Now, when we was last, okay, so where we ended up at last week. Okay, so Angel had warned that she'd shut down the whole cash trip unless Ashley and Giselle, spilled the tea about what they had heard about the whole eviction from the house out there in Potomac. Although it seemed like we were in store for a messy reveal, the tea wound up being somewhat we had already heard, right? Wendy claimed she heard from a relative friend that Angel wanted help finding a house on a very limited budget. Very, very limited. I don't even know what she was, just the number was ridiculous. $1,000 for anything in Potomac is ridiculous. Maybe some coochie for sale. And I think that's probably on the cheap end. Maybe she having a discount that day because the bag. I don't know. But of course, Angel quickly denied the accusations. She did, however, admit to working with the realtor that Wendy mentioned. The whole thing could have been cleared up with a simple phone call to, to whoever this shady realtor was. But yeah, no one wanted to take it there. Basically, Angel was like, we're not going to call her. We're left with a big question mark on who made this up, but it's fine, whatever, right? Now, as we finally saw in the episode, Angel has plenty of real estate she can, feel proud of. Now, after weeks of bragging about her home in Colorado, Angel finally opened the doors to Wanderland. Oh, yes, isn't that cute? Of course, only Kiara and Tia earned the privilege to stay the night there, but the cameras rolled as the rest of the ladies made, the hour drive, right? Because they're an hour away. Like literally, she didn't even try to get them a Airbnb near her. You know, you're an hour. Well, I guess if you're in Houston, because see, Houston is pretty big. Like from the north to the south, depending on where you at on each end, you could be an hour away. So, yeah, I guess. Now, although Angel has had a rough first season, you've got to give Angel her props here, right? Because her house is just as beautiful as she said it would be. There's no catfishing this time. It's the real deal. Upon arrival, the crew was greeted by over 30 acres of space, a full spread of food. They had a violinist, an oxygen bar, and a few random guys sitting around, smoking cigars, not really speaking. Sometimes when they be bringing certain punks around, it just be you get what I'm saying? They didn't really have men there. They had some punks there. Because men, they're very conversationalist, you know. Hey ladies, how y'all doing? They're not necessarily trying to holler at everything, but only a punk could sit there and think that the woman is supposed to come up to him and get the dragging for him and how you doing? And oh my God, da 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 da. That's real punkish. You get what I'm saying? So I don't think that Angel was trying to hook the ladies up. Because if she was, she would have brought some men out there and not some punks. But whatever. And then I did see some stuff online, but that ain't what this channel is about. So anyway, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I've lived out in Colorado, so oxygen bar, that's not uncommon. You get what I'm saying? Like it's just weird how, yeah, get out and travel. I just love how when I go different places and see stuff, it's just so, it's like cool. I don't know. It's just, it's just weird when people be like, "What is that?" It's just like, dang. You gotta get out. Like I have family that's down in New Orleans that's like literally never left out of New Orleans. Well, when Katrina happened, they left, but then they went straight back as soon as it was over. Absolutely ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? People who think if they go from Louisiana to Texas, they done been around the world. You know what I mean? It's like you just went one state over. Or if they went from Louisiana to Florida and they go through like Alabama, Mississippi, and they like, yeah, I done been everywhere. It's like you literally just went there I-10 or 20. Anyway, okay. Now, um, like I said, Angel Spot, it was really beautiful. It was really like a paradise. It was really cute. It's where she belongs. It's like her Wonderland. And I love that for her. That's why I like this title, Wonderland. Like Wonder Free Chronicles. It's just like, you know, we aren't meant to just not wander and just be free. It's just ridiculous. No one should feel captive, right? Now, Angel brought these ladies to Colorado so that they could get to know her on her home turf, right? Unfortunately for her, that was also kind of like opening up this door for more scrutiny from the ladies because these ladies like to we're not gonna say. Okay. Well, let me just give y'all this example, right? And then you tell me if they're being concerned or these bitches are just messy. Now, Monique was the most concerning. Now, after navigating her own divorce and healing journey, Monique spent the episode kind of like psychoanalyzing Angel and Bobby's marriage. And as a former WAG, that's wives and girlfriends of, athletes or whatever, she said she saw similarities to her relationship with Chris and felt Angel might be overcompensating for some deeper issues, right? Monique said something like, she reminds me of where I was in some ways, right? Now, Monique's theory got put to the test at the end of day one when the Airbnb group invited Angel to. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead on and let you guys see this episode. So hold on, let me. So if you just listening, then go ahead on and dry your hands real quick, or took that thing on over so you can see the screen. So I am about to bring up the episode where, hold on, because I want to make sure I get it to y'all right. Let me bring this down. Hold on now. Okay. Now we're going to go to Angel and Monique. All right. Hold on. I'm coming, girl. Hold on.
Oh, thank you. Angel, this is lovely.
Thank you.
And I think that we should keep the party going because I hate that the party's over.
Yeah.
So I think tomorrow night we should have like a pajama party. What do y'all think?
Yeah. I was saying that.
I think we should get together.
Yes, would y'all be willing to like pack your bags and stay at the house with us and have a pajama jam jam?
Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
There's Tia.
Where were you?
I had a moment.
Sorry, I threw up in my mouth a little bit.
You okay?
Sorry. Almost lost my dinner.
Like I tried to run away from me.
So pajama party tomorrow.
I just have to check in with Bobby and make sure that's okay with him because he's watching the kids all day, and I just didn't plan for him putting them both to bed and doing the bedtime routine on his own. Also tomorrow. He's a dad.
It's okay, respectfully.
Oh, baby, when I seen that hand go up, that was a soft touch to say, mind your business. That's my man. Don't do that.
I'll text you ladies, but I'm down for the plan.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's wrap it up, girls, honey.
What's next?
Wrap it up. Nothing. Going to sleep.
Oh, it's over?
Yes.
Class dismissed.
All right, ladies.
This is the part where we get kicked out and go back to our quarters. Ain't no after party or nothing. Ain't no midnight snack.
Y'all had no hosting issues in English. I just want to say.
Went to the bathroom and it was a distinct well sewer.
So tomorrow night, they want me, P, and Tia to spend the night in the house that they're staying in Littleton. To be honest, personally, if I have opportunity to see my kids, and she will see kids.
Do you want to go?
No, what do you mean? I am still a breastfeeding mother. My plan was always to enjoy my time with the ladies during the day and sometimes some activities at night.
Time to go all day.
I know.
And I'm going to ask.
I know. It's not enough, Joe. Well, that was a good time. I feel like,
It was better than you expected, Giselle.
Not really. It's about the same. So she had to ask Bobby to like stay with us? That was a little weird.
Bobby is her security blanket.
When she doesn't want to do something?
Yeah.
So she doesn't want to come to the house and stay at night.
You know, I love Stacy. I had to cut that off. I had forgot. You know, on YouTube, they be tripping. Oh, okay, let me get back to it.
I think she's hedging to see how it's going to go tomorrow, and then conveniently, Bobby's not going to want to be with children tomorrow night if she doesn't have a good time tomorrow. Oh, thank you.
Angel, this is lovely.
Thank you.
And I think that we should.
All right. Okay. So now that we got that out the way, I also want you guys. Okay, so let me run this down with Tia real quick, and then I got 2 more episodes I want to show you. Not 2 more episodes, but two. I want to show you guys a sneak peek of the future. Okay. Now, although Angel echoed, these healing vibes or whatever, right, and this whole mindfulness and all that, we must forget that this is a Real Housewives. And if they're sitting around a dinner table, things are going to be a little bit of conflict. It's going to be some conflict going on, especially with the meal. They always doing something. Now, Stacey and Tia stepped up to the plate at Angel's Wonderland welcoming dinner. And then Stacey has like this had a break from the hosting seat for a few weeks, and she and Tia have had this lingering tension since the shallow event. So Tia still hasn't recovered from getting back, getting kicked out of the dispensary, and Stacy hasn't forgiven her for what she feels like is betrayal. Now, according to Stacy, Tia lacks a backbone because of how she suddenly flipped on her. Now Tia hit back with the argument we've all heard a million times this season. She accused Stacey of being a liar. She tried to prove her point by bringing up what happened with Chris and the unsolved mystery of someone leaking information to him. But obviously, that's a Monique. That's a Monique fight, and she weighed in with support for Stacey or whatever, which is crazy. But at the end of the day, Stacey's back with her husband. So what are we talking about here? Even if she did go out on a date with Chris, if nothing came, I done been out on a date with a guy once and nothing came about it. Like, come on now, what do we went out to eat. It was nothing, and he was a nice guy, but I don't have anything bad to say about him. But damn, I must go to bed with him. Come on now, really? So, yeah, so Monique showed her support and she made it clear that they've squashed that beef and she wasn't holding any hard feelings. And there's still a question around the who leaked that information to Chris, but Monique is choosing to believe that it wasn't Stacy. Either way, Monique explained that the Chris of it all was actually a much bigger issue. She said she had his lawyers sending threatening letters warning her that he wouldn't hesitate to sue her for defamation. So at this point, it's probably best that everyone keeps this man's name out of their mouths, right? He's not on the show. So leave him, he's not on the show. Move on. Now, obviously, Giselle was never happy with the accommodations for this trip, but it turned out there were much bigger problems than the twin size beds that she and Ashley had. Oh, if you didn't see the episode, Pooh, um, she put them in a room with twin size beds. Now, she left, I think she gave Monique a room that had like 2 rooms. I'm talking about it was like a little old apartment. I'm talking about kitchen, bed, and everything in there, just cute. And she put Ashley and Giselle in a room that had twin beds. It was small. Yeah, it was cute. So yeah, they had a water stoppage multiple times while they were there. Some of the rooms were stuck with like this 90-degree heat, so it was just hot. Wendy called it the worst trip of all time, and honestly, she might be, on to something. Now, when day 2 arrived, Giselle woke up and decided to take control. She's the OG of the group, and she said she wasn't going to tolerate the foolishness any further. She immediately started looking for accommodations elsewhere, and anywhere would be better than, the Airbnb that they were in. It was horrible. She said we need amenities, we need water, and come on now. Angel really, it was just tacky how she did them. Now, when word got back to Wanderland that the ladies were having some, so many issues or whatnot, Angel started to get nervous. The last thing this woman needs is another reason for Giselle to drag her. And while it's obvious not it's obvious that it's not her fault that the water was messing up. It is her fault that they were stuck there and she would never have booked it in the first place, if she knew how it was or whatever. But hey, booking Airbnbs is just not her strong suit, it seems. She's 0 and 10 in that department this season. Her home in Potomac and not this spot right here. But anyway, so to make matters worse, Jazz reported back to Wonderland what Monique had said about, Angel and Bobby's marriage. You could see the smoke just rolling off of the cowgirl hat when she found out this information. Now, between the mess up with the accommodations and the chatter about Bobby, this episode ended up with Angel on the edge. If the ladies start bringing up Bobby, that might be the final straw for her. Someone get this. Look, I don't know where the crystals at, but they need to get the crystals. Okay. Now, I do want to show you guys. Am I rushing? Because I listened back to my other episode and I was like, why does it sound like I was rushing? Hmm. Anyway, I got a couple episodes I want to show y'all real quick. Now, these are previews for this coming up episode. I know I'm behind, but child, look, better late than never, right? So let me show y'all this. Turn y'all, look, go ahead on and turn on the thing now. All right, let me put this on. Mm, 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 mm. All right, y'all ready? Let me do this. Let me do that. Okay. Let's do
Basically, I noticed certain similarities between you and I. And my concern was like, I don't want you to get to a point where you explode. But sometimes when you are doing so much, and even if your partner is contributing, sometimes it's still not enough. And then when you get in girl circles, you're hard, you're defensive, you're ready to attack or ready to defend because of what you're already experiencing in a house that they may not be privy to if you've not been vulnerable in that way. I know what it took for me to get to that moment of awakening, and I don't want to see you in that position.
Oh, so
You know what I'm
you're
saying?
wondering if that's also my lived experience. Okay, it's not.
I think that Monique doesn't know anything about my marriage. My husband pampers me to the nth degree. This is not a depleted woman that you see here. This is a fulfilled woman full of abundance and happiness.
Last night, me saying, like, I'm just going to check in with him, it's just a respect thing. They're his children, right?
Right.
And they're my children, but I still use the verb watch.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Which I told you that was concerning for me too. And quite frankly, why is that concerning? It was concerning because of the prior conversation where Monique shared her experience, and she was wondering if the correlation could be what she also went through. As a wag myself, there are a lot of wags that have kind of lost who they are in the idea of.
Now, her wag and Monique are Angel's wag different because I believe that Monique and Angel's husbands played, they weren't on a bench. And I think her husband is like a practice person. So now that's two totally different experiences. You know, Tom Brady is not, Giselle never compared herself to the water boy's wife. You get what I'm saying? Like that's two totally different, isn't it? It's like two, yeah. All right.
Becoming a wife. I think that Angel is one of those ones who's trying to find her footing while getting out of the wife, mom, that's my world energy.
Basically, I noticed certain similarities between you and I.
Okay. So now I want to show you guys this here, and this is yeah. Okay. Hold on, I'm coming.
So you know how last night around the fire, the ladies were talking about doing a sleepover or whatever?
Yeah.
I just, need to check in with Bobby because he is wild.
My bad. I had played them out of order. So what I just showed you guys was when they were talking at the table, but Monique wanted to address Angel, but girl, Jazz went back and ran her mouth, and this is them talking in the car.
Yes, dads watch their kids. I watch my kids. Would y'all be willing to stay at the house with us? I just have to check with Bobby to make sure that's okay with him. He can handle it. He's a dad. Monique was like, watching, he's a father. Do not shift your experiences onto me. That's not the time or place. You're crossing the boundary. You don't know me like that.
Yeah.
These ladies make it their business to make everything their business, and they thrive off of misinformation and making assumptions and jumping to conclusions. So this just tracks. If I let them in on my relationship with Bobby, which is sparkling and wonderful, they better consider it a privilege.
When you have kids and you have your two beautiful blessings in your boys, you are going to learn that's like the easiest excuse. You know?
I don't know. I set the babysitters up in our realm. Okay? I know.
I just don't know if I'm really believing the whole Bobby can't take care of the kids for one night.
She said she would have to talk to Bobby. No, you have to talk to yourself and feel like you feel like home.
Do you want to do that?
No, what do you mean? I'm just.
Oh, I think I played the same episode twice. Oh, okay. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know how I feel about Angel. Like, she's just starting off, just seeming very desperate to be on this show, and I'm damn near kind of over her. Maybe she needs to be on Housewives of Colorado Springs or something. I don't know. I mean, what y'all think? I mean, do y'all give a damn? Drop a comment, let me know. I'm serious. Drop a comment, let me know. Um, Now, yeah. So y'all know Housewives, they're gonna be airing Sunday. So today. So I'll do a recap on this after I watch Traders and all that because I want to make sure that I put all these together. So this would be like my Sunday thing. So yeah. So who else we got on this chopping block? Okay, now we're gonna move on over here to the Housewives of Beverly Hills. Now them my bitches right there. I love them hoes. Before we close, shout out to my followers who hear this every time because you never know who's listening. I'm building a self-parting hair tool so you can part hair clean, straight, and perfectly with no extra hands needed, not even a mirror. Still in patent. I am meeting with manufacturers to scout out, those types of things, but it's real and it's coming. So when it drops, you heard it here first because I'm going to display it here first. So I want to thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you wander with me, always remember consistency is key, and I'll be back with more. So until then, be easy. Oh, I know.